Hello, this is episode 10, and today we're breaking down something that confuses a lot of homeowners, frustrates even more, and often leads to the phrase, "Why is this taking so long?" Today's episode is titled, "The Claims Reconstruction Process Explained." If you've already filed a claim, the adjuster's been out, and now you're just waiting and waiting some more, this is the episode for you. We're going to talk about what actually happens after the reconstruction inspection, how reconstruction really works, and where homeowners often get tripped up, even without realizing it. And yes, I'll sprinkle in some real-life examples from the field, because nothing explains this better than what I've actually seen and heard from real homeowners. Welcome to the Happy Homeowners Hub Podcast, where we share real-life stories, break down the lessons, mistakes, and wins that can save you time, money, and stress when navigating a property claim, buying your first home, selling your home by owner, and dealing with home maintenance. I am your host, Fred Turner, and each week I'll guide you through these 4 topics to help you become happy homeowners with no regrets. Why the reconstruction process feels so confusing is a question I often hear from homeowners. Chapter 11 of my book, The Happy Homeowners Handbook for Navigating Property Claims, addresses this exact issue. Most homeowners think once the reconstruction inspection is completed, the hard part's over. In reality, that's just when the new phase begins. Up to this point, the insurance company has been focused on verifying the damage, determining coverage, reviewing the mitigation, which is the demo and drying estimate, while also writing and reviewing the reconstruction estimate. Once that's done, the responsibility shifts towards you, the homeowner. And that's where things often slow down, not because anyone is lazy, but because reconstruction involves making many details, such as selecting contractors, material selections, scheduling, supplements, additional inspections, and about 12 other decisions you didn't know you'd have to make. Understanding the scope of work. The insurance estimate is a starting point, not the final verdict. Think of it like ordering a meal based on a photo instead of tasting it. The estimate outlines what the insurance company believes needs to be repaired based on the visible damage at the time of the initial inspection. Once the project manager sees the home for the first time, sets up the schedule, and the work begins, additional damage can often be discovered. This is known as a supplement. This is very common, even though it feels alarming the first time it happens. Here's a real-life example. I once worked with a homeowner after a water loss in their kitchen. On paper, the estimate looked reasonable. Cabinets, flooring, drywall, and paint. Pretty straightforward. But once we got into the work and removed the cabinets, we found additional water damage behind the cabinet walls and into the subfloor that wasn't visible during the initial inspection. The homeowner thought something shady was happening because the cost of the job went up and we had to stop. In reality, the estimate didn't change because of greed. It changed because additional damage was discovered that was not visible during the initial inspection. This additional damage needs to be supplemented for to the adjuster and approved before it's completed. Otherwise, you would have to pay for the additional damage out of your own pocket. Choosing the right contractor. One of the biggest mistakes homeowners make during the reconstruction is assuming all contractors can handle insurance work the same way. They don't. Insurance reconstruction is not the same as remodeling your kitchen or basement. A contractor working on an insurance claim needs to understand insurance pricing, document changes properly, communicate with the adjuster, submit paperwork, photos, and supplements correctly. If they don't, delays can happen fast, or the homeowner can have additional out-of-pocket costs they didn't expect. Supplements are very common and not a problem during the insurance reconstruction process. Supplements sound scary, but they're really not. A supplement is simply a request for additional funds when new damage or necessary work is discovered. Photos of the additional damage should be submitted to your adjuster along with the cost of the additional work that's needed, and the adjuster will provide approval. This is one of the most understood parts of the reconstruction process. Here's another real-life example for you. I worked with a homeowner who refused to allow supplements because they didn't want the construction process to stop. The contractor did the extra work needed anyway and ended up billing the homeowner for it. The homeowner then had come up with additional money out of his own pocket for the additional damage that was obviously related to the claim and would have been covered by the adjuster had they been allowed to submit the supplement. Supplements don't mean someone messed up. They mean the scope of the work changed once the work began and the job was being done correctly, and why everything takes longer than expected. Reconstruction timelines are estimates, not promises, for the following reasons: material back orders, additional inspections, change orders, weather, adjuster availability to answer questions, or holidays. Construction schedules often move more slowly than homeowners prefer. This can be frustrating, especially when you're living in part of your home while the other part is a disaster zone, or you're dealing with temporary housing. I often tell customers that we don't have a room full of carpenters just waiting for a new project to come in. We have multiple project managers with their own crews that might be finishing up a small project or starting a larger job. We will need to order the materials, cabinets, flooring, etc., and hopefully the customer doesn't select items that are not in stock or maybe special order that may take weeks to arrive. The key takeaway here is reconstruction is a process, not an event. Things need to be done methodically and planned out, or issues may arise. Here is your role as the homeowner. Once reconstruction starts, your role becomes incredibly important. You don't need to micromanage the workers, but you do need to stay engaged, understand the process, ask questions, approve material selections quickly, keep documentation, and understand what you're approving. Here's another real-life example. I once had a homeowner approve a change verbally because they were out of town on vacation without reviewing it in writing. When they got the final invoice, it reflected something that they didn't expect. No one was trying to be dishonest, but the assumptions were made on both sides, and an official change order was not signed up front before the additional work was performed. The insurance claim rewards clarity, not speed. Here are some common reconstruction myths. Let's clear up a few things that I hear quite often. The insurance company controls the contractor. They don't. Once I get my first check, that's all the money there is. That's usually not true. If I question something, the claim will get denied. That's also not true. Asking questions does not cancel your coverage. Your coverage is part of your policy and a contract. And my favorite one, the insurance company is intentionally dragging this out. Sometimes it feels that way, but more often, it's a workload or a coordination issue, not a conspiracy. Here's how to protect yourself during reconstruction, and this comes from my 15 plus years in the field and what I have outlined in Chapter 11 of my book, The Happy Homeowners Handbook for Navigating Property Claims. Here is the simple playbook to protect yourself. Number 1, understand the scope of work before it begins. Number 2, use a contractor familiar with insurance claims and preferably a preferred contractor. Number 3, get the construction schedule from your contractor. Number 4, expect supplements during the process. Number 5, communicate and make sure all changes are in writing through a change order when possible. Number 6, keep every document in an organized folder. These alone may prevent most reconstruction-related headaches. Here are 6 main questions to consider when hiring a contractor. Number 1, is the contractor both licensed and well insured with both liability and workers' comp insurance? Number 2, is the contractor highly experienced with your type of claim and in working with insurance companies? Number 3, is the contractor a preferred contractor, and will the insurance company and its affiliates stand behind their work? Number 4, does the contractor provide an adequate workmanship warranty for their work? Number 5, does the contractor have a good rating with a Better Business Bureau and good online reviews with Google or Yelp? Number 6, can the contractor provide you with a list of referrals? As you may recall, I previously recommended using a preferred contractor. Why, you might ask? Well, for several reasons. Preferred contractors are typically required to have higher insurance limits as required by insurance companies. Preferred contractors work closely with insurance companies using the same estimating platform and know how the process works. Preferred contractors get the proper approvals for supplements so homeowners don't have to pay out of pocket. Preferred contractors typically offer longer workmanship warranties as required by your insurance company. Preferred contractors perform insurance work all the time and can help you through the entire process. Here's another real-life example of a homeowner who used a non-preferred contractor for a previous claim and said they only wanted to use a preferred contractor to perform this next reconstruction process from this additional claim. A little over a year ago, this homeowner had a water damage loss in their basement from a failed sump pump. The non-preferred contractor had replaced a 2-foot flood cut around the perimeter of the basement rec room. A year later, the drywall started to crack where the new drywall repair was attached to the existing drywall, and the customer had previously complained that the drywall float joint was very visible, and they were not happy with the finished project. The base trim was also not installed securely and looked a bit wavy. Let me explain the importance of a detailed repair estimate and a good construction contract. Any reputable contractor should provide you with a detailed repair estimate and a contract that spells out the required details for both parties. Contractors' estimates should not be simple or vague without sufficient details so that you can fully understand the full scope of the work being performed. The estimate should provide a very detailed scope of work that specifically lists out exactly what work will be performed in each room and on each elevation of your home's exterior. You don't want a detailed estimate with only the grand total at the bottom either. Each line item should have a price associated with it. On your construction contract, the total amount of the repair estimate should be clearly stated along with the payment schedule and deductible payment, which is usually collected up front before the work has started. Do not pay the entire claim payment up front. You want to hold on to some money until the work has been completed so you have leverage if you're not satisfied with completed work. Many contractors try to get 50 to 60% of the reconstruction money up front for smaller to medium-sized projects, as they have to purchase construction materials such as cabinets, flooring, insulation, drywall, shingles, or siding. For large projects, it may be divided into draws that are a bit smaller. Here's how to read an insurance estimate. Insurance estimates are often difficult to read due to the detailed and complex nature of the information and how the payments are distributed. The important sheet on the estimate is called the summary sheet. It's usually located towards the front of the estimate for State Farm estimates or toward the back of most other estimates. You will notice that there are many lines showing the RCV, which is the total recoverable value or the grand total, the depreciation, and the ACV, or the actual cash value. Depreciation is the amount of the claim that is withheld from upfront payments and is based on the age of the components being replaced. The depreciation amount is typically between 10 and 35% of the total claim. This is recoverable if your policy allows for recoverable depreciation, which most policies do. If you have a very cheap bare bones policy, the depreciation may not be recoverable, meaning that you'll have to pay this part of the claim yourself in addition to your deductible. This can sometimes be a huge surprise to homeowners after a claim, so make sure you know what your policy covers and what it does not. The ACV, also known as the actual cash value, this is the total amount of the claim, the RCV minus the depreciation and your deductible. What is the ACV, or actual cash value? This is the total amount of your claim, the RCV minus the depreciation and your deductible equals the ACV, or actual cash value. This is the first payment the insurance company will make. The depreciation payment, if recoverable, will be paid after the work is completed and after a completion certificate, also known as a COS, is signed and completion photos are all sent to the insurance company. If you would like more information on navigating property claims, I have published a book on Amazon.com called the Happy Homeowners Handbook for Navigating Property Claims. And I also have a companion book called the Happy Homeowners Claim Documentation Booklet. For more information on these books and others, go to my website, happyhomeownershub.com. If you would like to receive my newsletter, which begins March of 2026, just go to my website and fill out the Contact Us page and put the word newsletter in the message box. If you need coaching through a claim, that option exists too. You can sign up for a free claims discovery call to see if coaching would be right for your situation. See the details on my website or in the show notes. Here is a Happy Homeowners Hub Podcast disclaimer. The information provided in this podcast does not and is not meant to be considered as professional or legal advice and should not be used without consulting a legal professional. The information is based on my 15 plus years of experience in the restoration industry. To wrap it up, here are some final thoughts. Reconstruction after a claim can feel overwhelming, but it doesn't have to feel out of control. When you understand the process, delays make more sense, supplements feel less scary, and decisions feel more manageable. Now you know what to look for in a contractor and what to expect from the estimate, how the construction contract typically works, and how the insurance payments will be made. Knowledge is power and can help relieve stress in difficult situations. That's why this podcast exists. If there are any other topics you would like me to address, send me a message on my Facebook page or on the Contact Me page of my website, happyhomeownershub.com. Thank you for joining me on this episode of the Happy Homeowners Hub Podcast. My goal is to make your home ownership journey smoother, smarter, and way less stressful. If you found value in this episode, consider sharing it with a friend, coworker, or relative that might be interested, and be sure to follow me so you don't miss future episodes. I've got some great stories, tips, and periodic guest experts coming up in future episodes, so stay tuned. And remember, your home is your biggest investment. Be smart from the start. Thanks for listening. This is your host, Fred Turner, and I'll see you at the next episode. Have a blessed day. Goodbye.